Yes.
I think we're live, but I didn't get a notification.
I got a notification.
Oh, you did? Good.
It popped up on me.
Okay. I didn't, but that's okay. I think we're live, but I didn't get it. Okay, good. All right. Hello, everybody. Wow. Okay, how do I used to do this? I forgot. It's been so long since I've gone live on my channel. But anyway, hey everyone, Heather here, and I am joined by my accountability partner, Carissa or Just Kissa, and we are just kicking back off this live show that we used to do on my channel. Carissa is my accountability partner. She has been for like years at this point. And we used to live stream our accountability sessions. And then we took it offline. But, you know, we have just such really engaging discussions that we believe would be helpful to other people who are going through something similar in their entrepreneurial journeys, business journeys, life journeys even. And so we wanted to start live streaming them again. So if you're new to the channel in the past couple months, this show is just basically where we talk about our goals, what we're working on, our progress, and just, again, keeping each other accountable. We have very different businesses, but, you know, there's a lot of things that we can learn from each other and just share, you know, things that we're learning, things that we're experiencing and stuff like that. So it's a really cool discussion. I'm like sad that we stopped doing it, but I'm excited that we can do this again. So hi to everybody. Black Girl Entrepreneur, what's up? What's up? Alfredo, hi. Seven Blessings, hi. James and Mark, what's up? Hey, everyone. So yeah, that's what we do on this show. Basically, it's all business. And of course, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat and we will be checking periodically. Just feel free to participate. Carissa, you have anything to add?
Yeah, we're actually recording. And if you guys missed this, I know Heather and I had discussed that she's not going to be keeping this on her channel. It's going to be just a live and then she's going to be taking it down. But this first episode, I'm actually recording it so that we can put it onto my podcast, and it's going to go up next Monday if you guys miss it. So I think it's like Heather said, there's just so much valuable back and forth that we have when we do these accountability sessions, just us two one-on-one, that I think it's definitely information that's worth sharing. And a lot of times people are, you know, going through the same thing or really curious about certain things and maybe just too afraid to ask or just didn't think about it, but it kind of passed in their mind. And it's a good way to get the conversation started, and hopefully we can help people along the way.
Yes, that. And I can't remember the last time we actually live streamed the show. Am I frozen? Oh no, okay. I can't remember the last time we live streamed the show actually on the channel, but everything between Chris and I individually, but also as a team, has just completely leveled up. We've learned a lot. We've also, you know, gotten to a system between each other. So I think there's just a lot to gain. So I'm glad that you guys are here. And like Carissa said, I'll be just taking the video down. You either catch it live or you don't. We're going to be doing these every Friday, except for today, because I'm going to an event tomorrow. But every Friday at, did we say 10?
We usually do it at 11.
Yeah, 11.
Fridays,
yeah. I go live in my group, but okay. Yeah, so Carissa's podcast, do you want to include the link, Carissa, to your podcast?
Yes, if you actually click on or go to my website, justkissa.com, and you go there, you can see the most recent episode there. If you're on Anchor, you can find me at JustKissa or go to anchor.fm/JustKissa. I do a weekly podcast, or at least I try to. And I have Heather on there once a month, actually, to just share our goals. the podcast is called The Entrepreneur Life, and it's just us talking goals. It's me talking about life lessons that I learned through this journey of entrepreneurship and things that I think are worth sharing, the highs and the lows and the ups and the downs. So you can check that out on my website if you like.
Sweet. Carissa, Alfredo, I mean, before we jump in, Alfredo's asking for you to do an introduction, just in case anyone's new to the channel, they don't know who you are and what your businesses are.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Carissa, or just Kissa. I'm an entrepreneur. I started my first business at 19. And since then, I've started 7 businesses, everything from wedding planning to an e-commerce business to a graphic design business, doing freelancing. I currently own a restaurant here in Northridge, California called Ninong's Cafe. It's a Filipino-American restaurant and bakery. And I'm also a realtor. I am just starting, actually starting next year, I'm going to be embarking on a new venture. I'm going to be doing business coaching for people that need help leveling up their businesses or just getting started. I have, let's see, almost 15 years of experience as an entrepreneur. And I feel like I've done almost everything that you can imagine. Everything from a sole proprietorship, LLC, corporation, partnership, done it all.
Yeah, and Carissa was the first person I went to and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about starting my own business and I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. So it's been awesome to be able to say that, you know, I have someone that I can look up to, someone I admire, who's been able to see my entire, you know, progress throughout this entire journey. So it's been cool. But anyway, okay, let's jump into it. Carissa, what's up? What's going on?
Okay. So last week we were talking about just, I think just kind of where our businesses are going from here. You have kind of pivoted your business and focused on a whole new side of things, which I'm really excited about. I'll let you kind of share that point of it. And then I was talking to you last week about the restaurant and our 10-year anniversary and just kind of where we go from here. And it's kind of been that this week. We have a few things going on this Saturday. Actually, if any of you guys are in LA, I'd love to invite you. Ninong's, my restaurant, is participating in this Filipino food festival in the Arts District in downtown LA called Eat, Play, Move Los Angeles. And so this whole week has been kind of prepping for that. It's this Saturday. It starts at 11 and it goes until 4 p.m. So last year we participated and it was insanely crazy. There was, I think, 25,000 people that came. We were only expecting maybe 7,000 to come. So it was funny because a lot of people ran out of food except for us. We were like the last one standing by the end of the day because I was overly prepared. I wanted to make sure that we didn't miss out on this opportunity and we didn't run out of food. So this year we've been trying to prep so that we're just more prepared this time around. And it's a completely different thing doing an outdoor food festival versus being in your restaurant. It's actually a lot more stressful because you're trying to figure out where you're going to get your power from, where you're going to get your water. Are you going to be able to keep things cold or keep things hot? So logistically, we learned a lot from the last year. And so we're trying to just, like I said, be as prepared as possible. That being said, here at the restaurant, it's been a struggle, not going to lie. I talked to Heather about this last week too. Every business has its ups and its downs, and we are definitely in our lows right now. Business is slower than usual, but it's on trend for what we've been doing the last 5 years. It just is typically a slow time for us. So finances are really tight for us right now, which is obviously really stressful. I try not to focus on it too much because, you know, what can you do? All you can do is try and get people in the door or try and attract people to your website or to your place of business. And then from there, it's not a problem. But this time is when we need to be focusing on marketing and trying to get exposure and get our brand in front of people again, just to get them interested in what we have to offer. So it's kind of a stressful time, but it's okay. We're hanging in there. It's fine.
I mean, I said this to you last week, but the fact that you guys celebrated your 10-year anniversary is definitely something that not like far majority of businesses do never get to claim that, you know? So I think that's awesome that you have been able to survive and thrive this long. That's, you know, something to be celebrated.
Yeah, thank you. I can't believe, honestly, it's been 10 years. I think, you know, when you're in the realm of entrepreneurship, you just take things day by day or week by week or, you know, as things come. So I feel like a year is so short, you know. So when people are like, oh, how does it feel? You know, 10 years. I'm like, honestly, I can't wrap my head around it. Even now, 2 weeks have passed already and I can't wrap my head around it. But it's really humbling to remember where we were and the growth that we've made up until this point. But I think it's something to be said too, that, you know, just because we've been around this long doesn't mean we don't still have struggle. We don't, we're not grateful, you know, like it's still hard, but it's at the same time this feeling of accomplishment, immense accomplishment, you know?
Yeah, definitely. From last week, we talked, you know, you've been working on your business coaching packages. You want to talk a little bit about that progress, how it's been?
Yeah. So, like I said in my intro, this coming year, one new venture or project of mine is to start offering business coaching and consulting. And I'm a firm believer of what I like to call like planting the seeds before, so that you can help things grow at a good pace. And so I talked to Heather about this weeks ago. Coaching is something that I have always wanted to do. And I feel like I'm finally at that point in my journey of entrepreneurship where I have a lot that I can offer and I feel confident about it. So last week we were talking about landing pages, and we were talking about how to attract that right customer so that when they go to your website or they have any remote interest, how can you really pique their interest or capture them in a way that they feel like they need your service. And I'm still struggling with it. I told Heather that there was this webinar, actually it happened last night. Melissa Griffin, who is kind of a Pinterest expert, she kind of has a community that she's built, or like I don't know if it's an online course because I never signed up for it, but it's kind of a similar thing, but her specialty is for Pinterest. And I was looking at her landing page, and hers is very simple and just, you know, very straightforward. But I've been looking and I still can't figure out how I want mine to look aesthetically, because I'm a graphic designer by trade. So I'm very, very picky when it comes to the layout. And I love the suggestions that you made last week. It's definitely something that I want to implement. I just want to make sure it flows and all that. So to be honest with you, I was playing with it last week, but I basically put it back to what it was when you were looking at it, which is very plain. I'm not ready to show it because but anyway, it's like a big body of text and then a few photos here, and then a big body of text. I just haven't found I don't know. I just haven't found the layout and the message that I think is just right. Because I think one thing I learned from Melissa when I watched her webinar last night is the importance of, she calls it a freebie, but I like to call it just value, you know? I just think that showing value is so important. And that in itself is step one to trying to reach people and show them that, you know, you have something to offer and it's something that they need. And that even that freebie or that, you know, that incentive or that piece of value that I want to offer, I don't even know what that is yet. So I think that's my first step of trying to figure that out. Whether it's I've been thinking it could be like a PDF checklist of things that you need to have in place as a startup before you even get started. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm stuck, because I feel like that sets the tone for pretty much everything else. And I don't know if I don't know if you feel that way, but I have no idea what to offer.
I mean, I really like the idea of a checklist, especially for what you're doing, because it just seems, I mean, there should be that. If you're planning to start a business, you have an idea, you have to go through the checklist of like, is this even feasible? You know, like, because you don't know what you don't know. So to have someone, you know, who's seasoned to guide me in like, well, have you asked yourself this? Have you thought about this? Are you prepared with this? Do you have enough this? You know, blah, blah, blah. I think it's relevant to anybody who's in this position.
Right. I was thinking too of, and I don't know if this is overdoing it, but I was thinking about my goals and for next year, my marketing strategy. And we were kind of talking about it last week where, you know, for me personally, I'm going to be moving away from Instagram. I mean, I'm not going to stop altogether, but it's just not going to be my focus. And so because of that, I was moving toward focusing on my email list and a newsletter and doing a monthly newsletter, but also maybe including a monthly freebie in that newsletter. But I don't know if I can even come up with something every single month that would be of use to someone. You know, I don't know if that's the right way to go, or, you know, just offer it for the people that want coaching, because I do offer a lot of other things to help with entrepreneur productivity, you know, all that. And I don't want to forget about the people that just want that, you know, that don't necessarily need coaching. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. I think, you know, it's so funny because it's like talking to a mirror, because it's exactly my same thought process. But what I would say to you and what I'm trying to say to myself is like, you don't need to do additional value because your blog is value, your podcast is value, your YouTube channel is value. Like, you're creating value. You're a content creator. You're already creating value. So I don't think you have to go out of your way to create anything extra. I think on a landing page, you know, you should have that like one piece of signature, you know, where it's almost like a product of like, this is my PDF guide, my checklist, whatever. But, you know, if you're talking about emailing something for a newsletter, I think even just like linking to a video you already have, or blog or podcast episode, you know, I think that's good enough.
Okay.
Honestly.
Yeah. I don't know why I don't.
There's already existing content, you know?
Yeah. I don't know why I don't think about that.
I don't either. So I
think when you're in it, you know, like when you're in that bubble and you're like, okay, what can I offer? And you always think that you have to create something new. when you realize there's a bunch of stuff that people haven't heard or seen or read yet that could be of use. I always forget about that. Yeah, that is so true. I totally didn't think about that. That being said, I use MailChimp. Have you moved away from MailChimp, or are you going to stick with it for a little while?
I moved to ConvertKit.
Okay.
And it took me a while because I was like, why? Like every email service provider, ESP, provides the same thing, right? You have a dashboard where you can import contacts. You could probably categorize your contacts, and you send out email blasts. But ConvertKit, what I really like about it is that this is what I couldn't wrap my head around with MailChimp, because, you know, I have people subscribe to like 022Puro, my online course stuff. They are a completely different audience than people who are interested in like client services.
Right.
And those people are interested in, you know what I mean? Like audience segmentation. But the thing is, they are all still part of Heather's mailing list. And that's the part I couldn't wrap my head around with MailChimp, because it's like you're creating separate lists. But if I wanted to send to all of them, it's like I couldn't figure out how to do that. But in ConvertKit, their approach is that you only have one list. There is only one list, and each email just gets a tag. So that way you can filter within the list that you already have.
Got it.
I'm probably not explaining this as well as ConvertKit does, but the founder, the guy who like created ConvertKit, was using MailChimp. And when I saw his video of like why you should move, I was like, but those are exactly the things that I don't like. I couldn't figure out how to do it in MailChimp. So I moved over to ConvertKit. There's a ton of other things you can do with ConvertKit, like, you know, automated sequences, and you could even create landing pages in ConvertKit. That's probably not something that you need, but I love, you know, I love how it categorizes people, because it uses a system of like, the analogy they use is like a school. So you have a school of students, right, in several different grades. That's kind of like your mailing list. There's only one school. There's one list. And then you can have tags, right? I think it's tags is the word they use, which you add the tag to separate each person by grade. And then you have segments, which categorizes the tags. So your tag is like first grade, second grade, third grade. Your segment is elementary school, middle school, high school.
Got it.
So
that
like
makes total sense.
In my situation, it would be like, you know, I would have people who are like interested in 022Puro who attended a webinar. 022Puro already bought, you know, they're already enrolled. But then I have a segment that categorizes like everything that's like 022Puro, whether you bought or you haven't yet or whatever.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That is hard to do in MailChimp, to be able to categorize like that. And I want to be, I don't want to make it complicated, but I also want to be specific with my messaging and intentional. And I couldn't do that in MailChimp.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Because when you were talking about it, I'm like, oh, I don't get it. I don't know what the big deal is until you said that. And I was like, I think it's because, and this is the thing that worries me the most, is because I do have people in my mailing list already, but I've pivoted my business ever since then. So I've let the list kind of die, not die, but it's just sitting there. It's stagnant. It's not doing anything. And I'm one, thinking about starting from scratch, or like manually going in and being like, okay, this person could use it, this person could use it. But then at the same time, when you said that, I was thinking in my head, oh, that makes total sense, because some of the people that are on my mailing list signed up for a certain reason, but depending on what it is you send, I always just thought, oh, you could probably just send it to that list and to that list, but then yeah. How much is ConvertKit per month?
I want to say it's significantly expensive. I don't remember. I mean, not significantly, just compared to MailChimp.
Right. Which I get. I mean, see, this is a classic example of like, you kind of get what you pay for. If you want to invest in something, and if that's going to be your focus, then it might be worth it, which I think it might be worth it to me.
So $30 a month.
Okay.
But see, another thing that you could do is like, you could do the automation. So you could send an email that has a link to your freebie or whatever. And then, if they click on it, they can go into this entire other sequence where they get an email every day. It's already programmed. You don't have to do anything with it. If they don't click on it after a certain amount of days, they'll get entered into another sequence that is cultivated to like pushing them and encouraging them to check out your content since they haven't yet.
Right.
Like way complicated, but the fact that it's there is nice.
Yeah. And I think as a person that runs kind of one business that does multiple things, I could see that being a huge benefit, because right now I only have 2 lists, and one of them is just a generic list, and then the other one is more specific. But I could see people in both lists benefiting, getting the same email occasionally, sometimes. So
well, that, and like you could even create, like on your landing page, if people only discover you through your business coaching landing page, that you could put like a ConvertKit box on there.
Right.
And then that's a whole separate, thing, but they're still in your list overall.
Right.
So
going toward this, because I am the webinar that I watched last night is on my brain, because it's it's funny when you watch like something that you already know, but then you're listening to it again and you're like, yeah, duh, obviously that's what you need to be doing. That is something that I really want to do for my blog, because I was watching Melissa Griffin's webinar last night, and she was talking about how to use Pinterest basically to like grow your email list. So how her strategy was putting it into blog posts, and I was looking to see if MailChimp has something that I can embed into my posts, and they do, but they don't. It's very limited as far as what I can do. And I was looking at hers, and I was like, oh, that's exactly how I want to set it up. I don't know what she uses personally for her email list, but I was looking at MailChimp last night, and like, man, it'd be a lot more work, but that is actually one of my goals, not just for this week, because it's going to take me so long to like filter through the hundreds or thousands of blog posts that I have, and embedding those correct like subscription boxes or whatever. But it's a goal of mine to like get my blog optimized to build my email list. Because like I was telling you last week, the growth on my blog is starting to like gain some momentum, and I don't want to miss out on that, because another thing that I learned is like with your email list, you own that email list, and if I focused on a social media platform like Instagram or Facebook, or if for whatever reason like Instagram just didn't happen tomorrow, you would lose all your followers, and that's like really scary to me.
Yeah. Sorry, responding to Holly. Holly says, send a poll to your entire list where they can select any tags in which they're interested. Automatically gives you your groupings on everyone who's actually opening the emails, which is so true. ConvertKit, you can, in the little like subscription boxes, you can actually have kind of like polls. So it's like, oh, are you interested in this? Or what's your level of experience, beginner, intermediate, expert? And then that can help you you know, just understand your audience more and how you can provide value at their level.
Mm-hmm.
So, so yeah. Wait, what were you just saying? I forgot. I had a point.
Oh, the owning your email list and social media, just, you know, it's a completely different thing.
That's the thing. I think with MailChimp, because, you know, it's a great ESP. A lot of reputable companies use it, but I think it's more for companies who don't need the email list to survive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they sell a product, they have stores, and you know, and they just need to announce like, hey, we have here's a coupon or whatever. Here's like in the news or whatever. But you know, I don't think that they're using it to be like, okay, if they click this link, they're gonna get this particular thing or not or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which I can see that working. I can see MailChimp working for, say, like Ninong's, for example, because we only sell one thing, food. So whether it's dining in, taking out, pastry, it won't matter because people need food no matter what. So MailChimp is something that Ninong's has been using for years, and it works really well for us. But like I said, I see the benefit of something like ConvertKit for my personal brand and my business, because I do need to dial things down. Hi. Oh, thank you. Bye. Sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah. So when you were talking about ConvertKit, I was like, nah, I'm not going to need that. And then I see now, because remember when you were talking to me last week and you were like, your head was spinning and you were so stressed out and you had like all these Post-its that you said were like on your closet door and everything. I didn't get it until I had to create my own landing page. And now I'm like, oh gosh, what do I want people to see? What do I want them to read? What is the call to action? Like, where do I want them to go? I want to make sure that it's not just generic and it's as specific as possible for them. And I think when you start to figure out who your target market is, you just don't want to lose them, because now compared to before, I really do, like, I know that you have to get as specific and as targeted as possible, or you're going to lose them. You know, there's just too much floating around out there. You've got to be really detail oriented with it.
There's a guy, actually, you might be interested in following him. His name is Matt Garland.
I think I've heard of him.
Because he's a bullet journal guy.
Yes, I follow him on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, he works for ConvertKit.
Yes.
And I've been following this guy forever. And I've gone to a lot of his like live trainings and stuff. And his big thing is like, keep it simple. You know, like even though the features are there, you don't have to build out the entire system before you can get started. But you are set up so that when you start adding one thing at a time, you can. So yeah, it's so overwhelming. Yeah. I mean, you don't have like you don't have like an online course or anything, but like even just with the landing page of your business coaching, if someone's on the landing page, they click and then it's like leaving something in the shopping cart. You can target those people who like don't actually schedule or follow through, and you know, hit them with like some kind of bonus or something, some incentive to get them to follow up. So anyway,
speaking of Matt Garland, yeah, I've been following him for a long time because I watch his bullet journal plan with me's and his like tips and stuff, and I love how simplified he is, but effective. And I like when you're in there and you're just trying to make it more complicated than it needs to be, he is the like exact person that I feel like you need to go to like dial you back, because it's so easy to do that, just like get caught up in it.
Yeah, his YouTube channel grew. Like he started, I don't know, this year with like 1,000 subscribers, just started hitting it hard, and is like, I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he's at right now, but when I first started following, I think he was at like 2,000.
Yeah.
2,000 subs, and now he's in the tens of thousands for sure. Gotta be. But because he's really good at explaining stuff. He's just quick to it, effective. He gets the point across. Yeah, he's really good at that.
So, anything else?
Let's see. Well, I am starting to, like I said, plant the seeds for next year. I obviously don't want to get too ahead of myself because there's still November and December to go, but you know, the holidays just go by so quick. It's just next thing you know, I mean, Halloween's next week. A month from now is going to be Thanksgiving. A month from that is just, you know, Christmas and New Year's. And then next, you know, we're in 2019. So for me, I've been trying to wrap it up. I guess that's like kind of my theme for the last 2 months and like a week of 2019. So wrap it up in the sense that I want to end strong. I don't want to just say like, okay, I'm just going to let it go. But it's, to be honest, I'm having the hardest time being motivated to do all the things that I said I was going to do. I mean, I didn't post a podcast this Monday. For one, I was like exhausted, but I didn't post a podcast, which I'm normally really, really good about. I failed at my blogging challenge, which I'm going to supposedly restart on November 1st. And I have every intention to do that, but I haven't been writing. And I don't even know what I'm doing. Honestly, like there was something that I saw you post, but I feel like I'm doing stuff. But when I look back, I'm like, what did I do though? You know, like I'm just in this phase of just like feeling like I'm unproductive. Like I'm not getting anything done, but I'm busy. And
I
post that.
I said,
yeah.
Intentional productivity is different from like just being busy.
Yeah.
Like and busyness doesn't equal effective. Yeah.
And that's so not me, you know? And for whatever reason, this past week, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not, you know, I don't feel like doing it, but for some reason I have a ton of things that I'm doing, you know, that don't go toward anything. And yesterday I wrote a blog post about it because it just kind of hit me yesterday because I actually woke up in the morning and I did my productive morning routine, you know, the routine that I know will get me on the right page for the whole day. And when I did that, I opened up my planner and I was like, there's nothing in here. Like I didn't write anything. And when I looked at my to-do list, I was looking at it and I was like, I don't feel like doing these things. Nothing is urgent to the point where I need to do it right now. I can just wait until the last minute. I can kind of put it off. But then at the end of the day yesterday, I was like, but you were busy. With what? You didn't even cross anything off. Like, I don't know. I'm just in that weird kind of limbo right now. And it's irritating me because I realized it. And now I'm like, I need to do something about this. I need to get reinvigorated and re-inspired.
See, that was me in September. Remember, you were like, you seem frustrated. And oh God, I hate that. I hate that. And I don't know what changed, like how I snapped out of that. I think just, you know, going through the entrepreneur program with the Coachella Valley Women's Business Center and having like all this pivoting happened that just naturally kicked me out of that. But let me tell you something about this new book I'm reading. Oh my God, life-changing. Like life-changing. I would encourage you honestly to 30 minutes with that book. And oh my gosh, like I wish I had read it on day one. Actually, it wouldn't have made sense to me if I had read it on day one, but it's called The 12-Week Year. I sent it to you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's so good. It's not even good. It's just the approach and the methodology and the system makes it so it's fail proof. Like you cannot fail at being great, which is crazy because, you know, the only system I know is to-do lists, check them off, to-do lists, check them off, and just try to do as much as you can every day.
Yeah.
And that's been my system this entire time. It's the only thing I know. But for the 12-week year, which, you know, I don't know if this is possible for you just because of Ninongs and you are in that like annualized thinking just because you're on this fiscal year. But I mean, it talks about how just annualized thinking is set up to make you fail because it's impossible. Like you're going to hit July and just, you know, where you don't even like think about the plans you made in January. Then you start calculating, well, there's 6 more months left. I'll just get to it next month, you know, and it's just like you're good about this because you also do monthly and weekly goals. But I mean, it talks about like, you know, that same new year feeling of just like being really amped. You can have that 4 times a year instead of just 1. And you don't have that just like, oh, I'll just get to it because there's all this time left. That, I mean, because your year is only 3 months, you don't have that luxury anymore. It talks about commitment and how when you commit to a few things per year, which is 12 weeks, it's not a question of if, which is what I get stuck on a lot. It's a question of how. You know, it's not like, should I go to the gym today? No, you already committed. So, you know, it's just about like, look, you have 12 weeks. This is what we got to do. And we're going to commit and we're just going to stick to it. And I think it's a combination of like why challenges, when we actually do them, are so successful with us. You know, like you did your 30-day blog challenge before. That's why you want to do it again. You want to get back to that like feeling of accomplishment and achievement and productivity. That's how I feel too. But just like structuring it in this 12 weeks is I don't know, it's really cool. And it just makes it so you can't fail. I can't really explain it. You just have to read it. because I'm reading it on my iPad so I could like highlight passages. I'm literally highlighting the entire book because it's so good. It's so good.
That sounds, I love business books, but I'm definitely
I
check
don't.
that out. You don't? Oh my gosh, I love business books.
And I don't know if it's because I haven't read any, except for like Gary's, which I love Gary's, but it's the same. It's like just reading Gary instead of hearing or watching Gary. So it's, I'm going to love it no matter what. But like, I would never go out of my way to read a business book. So I don't know if they're all like this, but I read this one because I don't know. I saw good reviews. It was recommended by the Business Center, and they like restructured programs based on the 12-week year and stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is start my to get myself out of annualized thinking, to actually start my 12-week year in November.
Smart.
Which is going to be interesting because there's the holidays and all of that. But yeah, anyway, it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to look into that book. I think that's a really smart idea because when you're starting your sentence, I was like, oh, she has to start like in November. Like that would make the most sense. And I'm a firm believer that, a lot of people that are entrepreneurs, because of the luxury of being able to take time off and saying, I'm going to go on vacation for the holidays, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But those that still hustle will get it done. You know what I mean? I think during the holidays, you're either in it or you're on vacation mode. And if you're in it, a lot of good things can happen because there's still people that need things that are on a different, like on a different plane of like where they're at in their life. And there's still need out there. Just because it's the holidays doesn't mean everything gets put on hold. So I think that's really smart.
And for me, in the Coachella Valley, this is the season. This is the start of the season where literally the population doubles. Like doubles, we go from 400 to 800,000 people in the next, starting December is when it's just influx of people. So this is my this needs to be my busy time. And I'm starting, I don't know, it's just a combination of things. Again, you know, like knowing what I'm trying to offer, having this new pivot and this new strategy. I've been testing it out this past week where I wake up 5:30 to 9:30 a.m. I'm working on client stuff and I just get it done and it's just done. So the things that are like guaranteed money, boom, like I'm done with it by 10 a.m. So 9:30, I go to the gym. Then I'm done. Like literally I'm done with everything I have to do by 11.
Right.
And then 11 on is my stuff, is, you know, business development, vlogging, 022 hero, you know, whatever busy stuff. I was just being busy doing I don't know what. But I never had that routine before, and just testing it out, it's been awesome this week. So I'm excited to just stick that out. But the other thing with that book, and see, it's like you said, you already know, but hearing it or reading it or consuming it from somebody else, it just like hits you differently. So my thing is going to be like consistent execution. Because like, you know, he was talking about people don't become great, you know, like Olympians, you know, like they're not great when they get the gold medal. They're great when they go to practice. And the medal is just confirmation of what's already happening, which is, you know, they put in the extra time and the hustle and all of that. Right. They're already great. That doesn't change. But it starts with the day. It starts with what you do in the moment. And that's what I want to do. It's like, I have spent so much time. This is my frustration. Like I've spent so much time trying to prepare to be great, trying to have all these freaking pieces in place and have this like beautifully automated system and this perfect business plan and stuff like that. When it's like, why don't I just go? Like, why don't I just go, dude? And obviously there's things that need to be there, a foundation and a landing page and, you know, stuff like that. But I think I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be. At this point, I feel like I've crossed, like, here's necessary ready, and like we could spend forever trying to get ready. And I feel like I'm already here, and I'm just like spinning in circles trying to make it better and better and better when it doesn't have to be. It can achieve what I'm trying to do here, you know, and now it's just a matter of like, let's just go. Yeah. Let's just go, you know?
Yeah, so. Definitely. Holly mentioned the block system, and I think I told you that I've been doing that on my calendar.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm in a place where I'm like I'm not motivated. So even if my alarm goes off and it says, oh, time for this, I don't do it.
You're like, shut up.
Yeah. I'm like, dismiss, swipe up, forget it. But it really, the way that you're setting up your day is truly, I think, especially for you and for other entrepreneurs, I can vouch and say that it works every time. If you have the discipline and you can stick to it, it works every single time because you're concentrated, you're focused on whatever it is you're blocking your time out of. And all the other things that are flying at you, you're like, if you can say no, you know, the power of saying no, and you've gone past that point already where you now know the power of saying no. If we can deflect those things, then you're golden, you know, like you're on that path and you're like, nope, that can be put off for an hour later. It could wait a couple hours. You know, we'll take care of it when it's time. And like it's comforting and inspiring to know that you're there because I need someone that is there to help me get back there.
Yes, I get it. And I mean, it's been the best. It's so nice. It's so, it's just so nice. I feel so accomplished and getting all that stuff done, the stuff that I don't want to do. Obviously, it's like going to the gym and doing client stuff. Like I don't really want to do, you know, that's the stuff I'm getting paid to do. The stuff I want to do is the stuff that is not paying me.
Yeah.
But to be able to like get that done and have that feeling of accomplishment, and you know, at technically the start of my day, which is when I begin the stuff I want to do, it's so nice. Like now it's just easy, you know, because it works. I already know what I want to. I don't even have trouble like getting up or anything. I'm so excited to just like knowing that if I trust the process by 9:30, I'm gonna feel amazing. I just have to do what I have to do. It's right. I don't know. I can't explain it. I know it's like so elementary, and I could have told myself this a month ago, and I would have been like, I don't know what you're talking about. But it's awesome. I'm very excited.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for you. I feel like every time we talk, I mean, yes, you're kind of at that point, but I feel like every time we've talked since September, like you've kind of found your own way and like have started to see things more clearly ever since then. I feel like it just needed to happen. I mean, I feel like it needs to happen with anyone, but I feel like it needed to happen for you so that you can learn from it and be like, okay, I'm done with this. Like, I need to get into a better place. I need to set some goals. I need X amount of money, or I need X amount of clients. And once you had that, I feel like you started to formulate that plan. You just needed to navigate through it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why I don't think I could have gone any faster than how I've, you know, the way I've been doing it.
A lot of people say that in hindsight, like, oh, I wish I had known that before, but you really can't, because yes, there's advice that people can give, but advice you give or you take, you know, like you can give advice all day long, but it has to like sink in. And sometimes people just need that experience. It's necessary. It's not avoidable, you know, like you just need to go through it so that you can navigate through it yourself, you know.
The other thing, the big thing I'm going to do today is officially kill my Patreon.
Okay.
Done.
I know we've been talking about that. And yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I feel so bad. I mean,
don't feel bad.
I don't feel bad. I feel bad and I don't feel bad. I feel empowered because I'm making a decision.
Good.
I feel bad in that I'm always going to feel bad when I have these expectations and I don't meet them. And I put so much work into the freaking Patreon. But here's the thing I didn't realize when I started it. When I created Patreon, I thought I was going to make money by creating vlogs, by being a content creator. And I've realized that is not, I don't want that to be a main source of income ever. You know, it doesn't make sense for me because the content I'm creating is about my business. And so it should be the business that's making money. You know, that doesn't make sense to like create content for some people who have paid more to just to like learn what about my business that like I can't offer to everybody else. That was my biggest frustration with it, is like that exclusivity that people would pay for this extra content. It's like, well, I'd really like everybody who subscribed to me to be able to see that, you know? And I'm sure if my Patreon were at a completely different level where it was like, you know, I have 100 people paying me $10, then yeah, you know, I'll give you exclusive content. But, you know, because I never really got it off the ground, it just doesn't make sense to me. And Tom is a big fan of Patreon. He follows a lot of creators that use it, and I see the way that they use it, and it just doesn't make sense for what I'm doing, because, you know, he follows creators that actually create things. Like he follows this diorama guy who, you know, spends forever in a day making these like realistic miniature dioramas and figure things and stuff like that. He like, you know, it's all super crafty, airbrushing, cutting, gluing. It's a whole, like, takes weeks to make one of these things. and that makes sense that that would be a fan funded project, you know, like the whole channel would get kind of an overview of the video, but if you wanted the tutorials of how he made the waterfall, you'd have to pay extra, and that makes sense. But you know, I don't feel like I have that because the thing I'm creating is a business.
Right.
So I can't, like, if you want, the thing I should be selling is the services, and if you want to pay for that, you should pay for the service.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree. I mean, that's always something that I've thought, but you know me, I'm never the type to be like, you need to do this, you need to do that.
Course,
like, I'm always like, if you have an idea and you think it's going to work, the best way to find out is try, you know. But I was always kind of confused because at that point when you were doing Patreon, I was like, oh, okay, she's gonna pivot and become just a vlogger, and that's it. And you were gonna abandon the idea of starting a business, but then you were still creating content about being an entrepreneur, and it was still part of your, you know, like your intro to your vlogs. And then in my head, I was thinking like, I wonder how that's going to continue, because you weren't really creating content that much about your entrepreneurial journey anymore. It was like going to WeWork or collaborating with people, which is great. It would be fine. But in my head, I was like, I feel like she's still planning on starting her business. So how is that going to work? Yeah. So exactly. I understand.
I think, you know, I think I see why I thought it would work, but like, because of where I am financially and just like my goals, it's not going to work for me, but I definitely can see how it works for other creators. Holly just chimed in. Patreon failed spectacularly for me as well. No one tells you the tier system puts so much pressure on creators. Yeah, I mean, it is pressure, but it's also like you have to fully embrace Patreon. You know, I really don't feel like, because of how you can set Patreon up, that really needs to be your main source of income. Like it has to be everything for it to be successful, because it does take so much time. Like to make another video especially if you're building the 3 people who have signed up for your bonus, you know, for your exclusive level, and you have to be okay with that. It's hard. Yeah. So I get it for, you know, if you're a musician, you make an extra song, you were going to make it anyway. Like that makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so anyway, I'm going to kill it. I feel bad for the people who've been, you know, giving this far, but also I'm sure they would have canceled if, you know, they didn't want to support somehow. So, and then, you know, there's super chat. So it's not like I'm completely closing off fan funding. I just don't want to bank on it anymore.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's you genuinely being that type of person that, because you said it already, you like to share and give to everyone, you know, and like it for your brand and for who you are. I saw you debating on whether to put it on Patreon or if you're going to put it on YouTube. Like we used to go back and forth of where it should go. And it was so hard for you because you're a big believer of everyone should know it. Like what's wrong with sharing this information with everyone? And I can see that it doesn't match for you personally anymore. You know, like it just doesn't fit with your brand. It doesn't fit with your business model. And I think that's so fair of you to be like, okay, I'm just going to kill it. Even though there are people there that are still giving, it's just not right, you know, for me, for you personally. And I think that says a lot. And then on top of that, I feel like that was just one of the thorns in your side type of thing, because you mentioned it to me a few months ago, I think, and we were already talking about it then. And I told you, just let it go, you know, because it's not part of your top 3, you know, it's just there. So if you can't grow it and like fertilize and like see it come to fruition, then, you know, just let it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so annoying because, like, I have 200 Post-its all over the walls of my room, and 98% of them say Patreon. So, but that's why I need to, like, I don't want this. There's a difference between something that's like tedious and I have to do, but I know I got to do it, versus this feeling of just obligation and then like not understanding why, and I think that's what Patreon has been, which is why I would just want to make a decision, move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
makes sense. So how did your business plan go?
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. That was probably like the hardest thing I've had to do. Seriously. It like in a good way, because it really, for what I'm doing, because I don't know exactly what the end product is supposed to look like for so long. Like even now I have an idea. I have the best idea I've ever had through the past 2.5 years, but like, it's not like, there's someone else in the class who is going to bake cakes. She's going to bake cakes. And it's so tangible. It's so simple. Like obviously the craft of baking cakes is very complicated, and I don't even try to pretend like I would even know how to go about that. But the business plan is like, you find people who need cakes and you bake the cakes, For me, there's just so many freaking levels and ways to do it. And creating the business plan, the reason why it was so monstrous of a task is like, I had to put it on paper. It's not a vlog where I just stream of consciousness. Here's what I think. Here's my vision. It's like, now here's something I could potentially pitch to an investor, to a lender, someone who would like, I'm in. Are you? Does this make sense to you? Like, do you understand my vision? Which is why it was so hard, but I'm so glad I did it. I had to do all this research, and like, it took me back to college. I had to like, source all my things and all of that. But it also like, what did it do? Like kick me in the butt to remind me like, dude, there's no one else doing this. Like, there's other bakers in the Coachella Valley. There is no other vlogger. There's no other content creator. There's no other people doing, new media content. There's no competition. And even the ones that are out there, because I did the research, like I literally looked at other video production companies. They're making your commercials, your movies, your standard like corporate type of video, which is like not, there is a place for new media content, and there's no one else doing that. So putting together that business plan kicked me in the butt to do my new website, kicked me in the butt to finally do new business cards that actually are not about HeatherJustCreate, but about the services that I offer. And so, yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome.
I'll send it to you. I didn't finish it.
Okay.
I sent it a draft, but I'll send you, I'll send you my second draft. It's really, I'm very proud of it. I'll probably do a video on it, but
I might be like a major nerd here, or disclosing that I am a major nerd, but I love business plans. They're like so much fun to me. Like I think that's what it does for everyone. And I think a lot of people know how important a business plan is, but that's a pro and a con, because I think a lot of times when you're a new entrepreneur, it's really overwhelming to think about, because you're forced to do what you said, put it on paper. It solidifies what your goal is as a business. And even if it might change in the future, I think the concreteness of it freaks people out, but I am so excited about them. When people tell me that they want to start a new business, I think I did the same thing for you. I was like, okay, so you need a mission statement, you need to start a business plan, you need to get all your documents together, you need to like make this legal, you got to make it official. And it scares a lot of people, but I think because it's so scary, people don't realize how empowering it is to actually do it and then clearly see what you were already thinking in your head, like on paper.
Yeah, that, you know, and for the longest time, even up until the hour before I was finished writing my first draft, I still was like, why am I doing this? Like, why the hell am I? This isn't for a grade. No one's going to pay me if I submit this. Like, this is just a completely voluntary thing, this entire program, because I was stressing out so much about it. So I was like, why the hell am I even doing this? I could be going and getting more clients, but I am just so glad I did, because of, you know, like you said, it's all the, I don't know what to call them, like benefits of, you know, the realizations of writing the business plan that are like, that just go into the process of completing it. It's not even what's in the plan. You know, it's the process of, you have to be able to succinctly in one page for every section try to convey what you're going to do. And the problem with entrepreneurship, not just my entrepreneurial journey, but I think everybody, especially if it's your first like business, your ideas are it's like this, you know, you want to change the world. You have this like new feeling of believing in yourself, and you know, then you want to tack on all these like services and products. You want to sell your product to everybody, you want to try to like sell to everybody, and it's just so not practical.
Right. Yep.
And it you know, I think even content creators should do that, because you know, everyone's trying to get everyone as a subscriber, but it's like, what's your goal? You know, at the end of the day, like, what are you trying to do? It's not, if your goal is to be a YouTuber with millions of subscribers, then cool. But you know, in an environment where it's getting more saturated, there's so much more competition. Right. You need to have a strategy. It is so much work. At least for me, it was like this. I'm telling you, it was the most stressful thing I did, but I'm so glad I did it. 100%. Yeah. I don't think I could have done it in the beginning. I know for sure if I had done it in the beginning, it would have totally been different.
Well, and see, that's what like a lot of people feel, but it's okay to, I mean, I guess because people think too, like, oh, I'm going to make this 10, 15 page document. Like, I don't want to have to redo it again. But that's the idea behind a business plan. You know, like, I think that people always stress about, like, once it's written, it's like set in stone, you know, but it really isn't. It's a living, breathing thing, just like your business. And I think a lot of people don't think that, because it's such a big undertaking that you kind of think, I just want to write it and be done with it, you know? But yeah, it's a misconception for sure.
Yeah. The thing that I realized in creating the business plan is what marketing actually is. Because, you know, I'm a marketer, you're a marketer, like everyone who's an entrepreneur is a marketer, because you have to sell yourself. But there's a, you know, that difference between advertising and marketing, because what I learned is that the services you're actually going to offer and what you price them at actually go in the marketing section of your plan. And that makes sense, because you have to know who your target audience is. And that's why you price accordingly, which is why it's all under marketing. It's not under like operations, which to me, that's where I thought it would go, because the operations plan talks about, like, you know, everything from a prospective client inquires, they discover your website, and you describe the process of, like, okay, if they want this service, I give them this, and here's how you do that. But the pricing, who the clients even are, you know, how you convert them, all of that is in the marketing plan. And it's probably the biggest part of the plan. Yeah. It's like who your target audience is, why they need your service, how are you going to speak to them? You know, what about your service differentiates from someone else offering the same thing? All of these things.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the whole, I mean, really, I know it's a business plan, not a marketing plan, but that is the foundation of your marketing plan. You know, like you've got to have a firm grasp of who you're talking to. And especially now, like you said, because it is saturated out there, it's so easy to just be like, everyone, you know, because everyone's online or everyone needs food or whatever it is. But the more broad you are and the less specific, the less people you're going to attract, because you have no idea who you're talking to. You're just spewing stuff out there, and you're trying everything, and you're wasting money because you're trying all kinds of advertising because you think that your market is anybody and everybody, and you're spending your dollars wastefully because you're just shooting a shotgun hoping to hit something, you know. And once you're able to get really specific, the other broad average will follow, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, and that's my goal, is like, I'd rather target 50,000 people versus, you know, 500, a million, 5 million. Like, let's just hone in and let's just do this.
Yeah.
You know?
I always say, like, keep your head down and do the work, you know. Like, if you just stick to it and you know what you're doing and you know who you're talking to and you know what you're offering will speak to that market or to that person, it'll happen for itself, you know.
Yeah. Holly's she said that they're sneakily interchangeable. Think instead of the word marketing, use value. What value can you bring to whom?
Exactly.
She's talking about marketing and advertising. Yeah. So super glad I did it. And once I finish it, because I my executive summary said, this is my awesome summary. I still have to finish it. But I need to show you my financial projections too. I'm super excited because it was like, it's exactly what you do. It's like, I need to sell this. I need to get this many clients. And I made it. So I make $100,000 next year. Nice. That's what I set the goal at. And I had to get real practical. So it's like, obviously I cannot guarantee that I can sell 100 022 hero courses, but I could probably sell 10 and get 2 more clients. You know what I mean? Like, it forced me to go through that thing.
Yeah. And see, that idea and that financial stress gets alleviated a little bit because you know exactly what you have to do. Yes, you might not hit the mark, like you said, you might not achieve that, but you know what you have to do to get to that point, you know? And I think that gives people a lot of peace of mind, because when you are an entrepreneur, it's so easy to just be like, I don't know, I don't have the money. Like, I don't have the money right now. What am I going to do? But if you have a clear idea of what you need, then you can work toward that. And yes, you might not achieve it right away, but at least you have a goal that you can try to hit. And then when you do hit it, man, it feels really good.
Oh, it's the best. I mean, I'm sure I haven't hit it yet, but I mean, another thing is this vlog is my YouTube channel, right? I can't tell you how stressful my vlog is, how much guilt my vlog gives me, because I feel like here's an audience who's like following me on my journey. And now, you know, there's always 24/7 this constant feeling of obligation and guilt that I'm not uploading, I'm not creating, I'm not editing as much and as often as I would like. But now doing this business plan and like repivoting, the guilt is gone, because I know that my vlog does not bring in money, period. You know, it just doesn't. It does, but it's not factored into my financial projections. You know, I didn't put it in, like, because there's no formula. I can't say, like, if I make 10 vlogs, I get X amount of money.
Right.
I don't have that. So, so thankfully that took the guilt away, and that's making it now just a fun process rather than like, oh God, I have to upload a video today.
Yeah, it's what it was in the beginning when you first started and there was nothing, you know, there was no expectation going along with it. And I think that helps a lot because now it becomes what my blog is for me. It becomes just this place for you where you feel like you can share and you can just bring people along the journey and like have a place where you can document how you were feeling at that moment and at that time, which is what I felt like your vlog was in the past. You know, like you're just taking us along that journey because you want to share it. And yeah, I can see that like guilt leave you. I can see how it's going to become something more fun and exciting versus something stressful or like a pain point for you. You know?
Yeah, because like even with this live stream, I would have just sat there and been like, should I put it? Like, should we do it? It's gonna clutter the channel, you know, back and forth, back and forth. But now I'm like, I don't care because it doesn't matter. There doesn't have to be this like, there doesn't have to be a strategy with it because my goal is to make money.
Mm-hmm. I
could have a creative strategy, sure, but that's fun. Like that shouldn't be a stressful thing.
Right.
So now it's like, I don't even care. It's great. I feel liberated.
That's so good.
I know, man.
Wait, okay. So, and then how is the vlogs with Stephanie going?
Oh, so good.
Yeah. I watched it and it was awesome. I feel like I love her already and I've only seen one vlog.
Yeah. Yes, she is. It's been a very interesting process because you know this, because you had the share spark moment. We just recorded vlog number 3 yesterday and she straight up was like, I'm losing sleep over this. In both a good way and a bad way, because you have that like that just like kick of inspiration, like, oh my god, this could be a vlog, this could be a vlog, that could be a video. You have that, but then you're also like, what is this? And she got her first negative comment, and I just was like, oh my god, I feel so bad because she's older and not that means anything, but I feel like she's not she hasn't experienced the trolls of the internet.
Yeah.
Being her age and being like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get, you know what I mean, right?
Uh-huh.
So someone was straight up just like, you're the ugliest something something. And of course, like,
ugh, that pisses me off.
I know. And it's like,
I don't even know her and that pisses me off.
And it sucks because I told Tom and Tom was like, of course it has something to do with her looks because fucking, sorry, I just cussed. Female creators, it's like, I mean, I don't think Tom's ever gotten something like a criticism or negative comment about how he looks because he's a dude and no one does that.
Yeah.
But with chicks, it's, and it sucks because she was getting her hair done and, her friends were like, wow, you're so brave for putting yourself out there when you're getting your hair done and like not looking perfect. And I was trying to, here I am trying to say like authenticity is what's going to make you win. And then you have people who are like, what, conflicting with that. So it's been interesting. Overall, she loves it. And, we're still going, we're having a great time.
Yeah.
But, this is why not everyone is a vlogger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is why,
and I can really, I mean, that we've talked about it. Like trolls are just, out of the 99% that are awesome and uplifting and amazing, that 1% that is rude, hateful, just spiteful, it gets to you sometimes, like you can deflect it as much as you want. But that it just takes one to push you over the edge and be like, I've had enough. Like, it just got to me,
I wanted her, it's getting your first negative comment is like that badge of honor because it's like you made it because you're starting to reach a circle of people that are not in your circle, right?
Right.
And I explained that to her. Exactly. I explained that to her. She responded perfectly. I just wish that she had gotten it 2 vlogs from now. Do you know what I mean? Like when we're a little bit more in the like, just as like, you know, someone who's, because she's a client, you know, I just, but anyway, I told her, I was like, your instinct's probably going to be to delete this, but, no, I can't remember what her response was, but it was perfect. So, it's going well and I'm hoping to get another client like this because it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I love it. And it's so simple. It's so easy. It's so much easier to edit someone else's vlog.
I would not. Yeah, I mean, I guess I never thought about that. I thought it would be the other way around, but now that I think about it, I can see why, because you're an objective perspective versus like doing your own content, and that you're your own worst critic. So it's easy to be like, and have to make decisions on that. But yeah,
exactly. So, and she's ranking for the word baby boomer, which is like, you know, has 50,000 searches a month.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's awesome.
I'm feeling really good about it. I'm probably going to do a feature vlog on her on my channel to kind of officially introduce and funnel people over to her. But I told her, I was like, you know, you have 1 video on your channel right now. Let's wait until we get, you know, some variety.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's really good. I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. Okay, so what do you have going on this week? Or what's your plan?
Okay, here's what I got to do before the next time we chat. New website. I'm like this close. I'm almost done. I really could just launch it today. I probably will. Just, it has enough, right? It's necessary ready. It's at this point.
Yeah.
I can spend all day on it, but it's good enough. So that's one thing. The other thing is new business cards. Okay. I sent over the design to my brother who's going to put it together. And then hopefully I can send it over to you.
Yeah. I was going to say the offer's still there. I can totally print them for you.
Sweet. Awesome. Yeah. Just tell me how much it is. And then, what is the other thing I want to do? Oh, Zero to YouTube Hero. So, I know this live stream has gone on forever already, but just to recap what Carissa told me last week, because I thought it was a really, really good point. I'm starting to double down on client services, especially recognizing that, you know, people want to be Gary Vee. You know, they see the value in creating content in this online brand, having a D-Rock be their vlogger because they're never going to learn how to vlog on their own. And they have the budget to pay someone to do that for them. So that's what I want to do because I'm good at it and it's fun and easy money. And last week I was like, okay, now I want to put Zero to YouTube Hero on hold because I'd rather focus on this. That's where the money is, stuff like that. And Carissa, you know, gave me a very firm reminder that you need to have a diversified streams of income. You can't bank on one thing. So, not that I was going to quit Zero to YouTube Hero. It's just taking so long for me to get it off the ground. But I'd like to have webinars scheduled for my next new year, like for November, December, January, and just do it. Even if there's 10 people per webinar, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. So that's my other thing is just like scheduling those out.
That's cool. I think that integrating Zero to YouTube Hero into a long-term plan instead of going, okay, I think I'm going to do one next week. I think it makes it in your long-term goal to just be more prepared. You know, I think that having solidified dates will also help you as far as like putting it out there, advertising it, letting people know, and then also having stuff on your website that gets people to reserve like well in advance, you know, like I think having a good solid plan for it is going to be really beneficial sales wise and attendance wise. Instead of just going, okay, well, I need to have one next week. So I don't even know what day. I'm just going to do one next week and see what happens. I think the more prepared you are, the better the result will be, for sure.
And I think that takes away the emotion that I have in terms of like getting really discouraged because of my own expectations. Because I don't want to have expectations, not meet those expectations, and then change strategy right away. Because there's not enough data. You know, it's like I need to give it enough of a chance. You know?
Yeah. And I tell people that all the time because it's so easy to just do the first event or do the first webinar, do the first action step in your plan and then have a setback or even feel like you quote unquote failed and then just go, well, it didn't work, you know, and just be like, then let's pivot, let's change. And I always tell people, you're not even giving it a fighting chance. For one, you probably didn't even think it through that much. You were just trying to get it off the ground, which is totally fine. But that means from there, what you need to do is that planted the seed. So let it grow. Figure out what you need to do to let it flourish and to gain some momentum before you're like, okay, no, you know, like that's not going to be a part of it. And, but like I told you last week, I just feel like Zero to YouTube Hero is needed. And it's so important because there are people out there that don't have the budget and want to be like Gary Vee and maybe want to do it themselves, but don't know how. And I think you can reach those people so easily with Zero to YouTube Hero. It's needed. Like it educates people on how important digital media is now, or like it's just educating people to let them know that it's here and you can't do anything about it. You either go with it or you don't, you know, and if you take advantage of it in a way that will help you, the sky's the limit, you know, instead of looking at the internet in a negative light and just going, well,
this ship sailed and
yeah, you know, because like a lot of people still say that it's possible. Yeah, it might be saturated, but if you have your own angle and you think about it and you create like a clear like plan of what you're going to put out there, man, there's still so much underserved angles that people can capitalize on, you know? And if they come from that background of wanting to share their story instead of using it for personal gain and trying to think of it in a selfish light, if they focus on the giving and the journey and the story, there's so much untapped potential there that I think people don't realize. I think, no offense to others, but I think because of the conceptualization of content creators and people having to pay to create good content or get exposure, there's misconceptions out there, you know, of what's required or the rate of growth or whatever. And I think that's why Zero to YouTube Hero is so needed, because yes, that's true, but there's still other ways of doing it.
And that's what it comes down to, is like, if my product sucked, it'd be one thing. It's a good product, yo. Yeah. Like I can make it better, and of course I'll update it and change it and stuff like that. But like you reminded me, like it's there. It's there, man. Like all you have to do is show up to a freaking webinar. Why are you tripping? Like why wouldn't you do that? You know, so so yeah. And you know, I had to host my first couple webinars and get into the rhythm and not be scared and stuff. So I'm very optimistic for my first new year.
Awesome.
We'll see.
Cool.
It'll be good. So what do I got? I got maybe switching to ConvertKit. Yes. I got your coaching page.
Definitely working on the coaching page. I want to, I told you this last week, it's still a goal just to get myself back on the blogging game. Like it's not even like marketing focused. It's just for my own sanity. Like I just need to vlog to blog because when I do, it's just so therapeutic and it's just my way to like be honest and put it on. It's like the business plan. It's like putting it on paper or like putting it out there into the world solidifies it. And then it either helps you to move on or helps to catapult you where you need to go. And I feel like that's why I don't do it, because it's just such an overwhelming undertaking for me right now. For whatever reason, it's all in my head. But I feel like once I just say, okay, yes, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's like that first little step to getting me back where I need to be. And I feel like blogging is what I need to do to get me there, you know?
Yes.
So that, the landing page, and then honestly, I actually have like this big project that I don't want to say it yet because it's not 100% going to happen. So I'm meeting with someone on Sunday about it to see if it's really going to go through. But I feel like if I do land this project, it's going to be a huge financial like weight lifted off my shoulders. And it's going to be a project that'll move into 2019. So what I do need to do is shuffle things around as far as my business schedule goes to make sure that I can fit this in, because one, it's something that I want to do. Two, it's going to be a great opportunity to do work and travel, possibly in the future if I can get this project where I hope it can go. And then three, like, it's dance related, and I'm
fun.
like I do. I miss being in that world of things, you know. And like you and I, we were dancers before, and ever since I've had to grow up, quote unquote, grow up and like focus on work and stuff, it's just not something that I've been able to do. But I feel like if this was a success and this project did happen, it could be like a way back into it, and not physically being on stage, but at least being involved in that world again, which is where I've met so many of like my lifelong friends.
Your husband.
My husband. Yeah, my husband. It was just such a big part of my life. And to be able to connect in that way again would be so awesome. So like I said, I can't really divulge anything yet, but if it does happen, like so many good things can come from it. Like I'm really hoping that it's gonna happen. So that is going to be my third priority, just kind of reworking my schedule to make it fit.
Well, I hope it works out, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely let you know.
Okay. Well, I don't even know what time we started, but
I know it was more than an hour ago.
Yeah. Anyway, so thanks for tuning in, guys. I know you're probably also listening to Carissa's podcast. I'll let her close out. But we are going to try to be doing this every Friday, except for today, every Friday morning, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on my YouTube channel, HeatherJustCreate. And then this is also on Carissa's podcast right now. Carissa, you want to take it?
Yeah. Did you want to share your social media so that people can follow you just in case?
So I'm HeatherJustCreate on all of the things, pretty much. You could search HeatherJustCreate on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of the things. And yeah, that's it.
And you can also follow me on social media at JustKissa. You can check out the blog on justkissa.com. And stay tuned for all the fun things that we have going on. If you're an entrepreneur out there, feel free to join us. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, guys. Take care. Bye. Thanks, Carissa.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.